Welcome back to Higurashi. It is a ridiculously hot summer's day.
It's awful. We have grapes.
We have frozen grapes.
We are so ready. I'm going.
These grapes taste amazing. Normally, I would avoid eating on recording, but this is the only source of cold that I can keep with us.
Well, I mean, I have cold water, so.
Well, yeah, but I can at least talk with a mouthful of grape.
Let's try.
Mouthful of water just makes a mess.
Okay.
I really wish that I could get ducted air conditioning in this room, but it's just never going to happen.
Yeah.
So I will have to die every summer and be resurrected at winter.
That's alright. So I have grapes.
Your glasses are so fogged up.
Because of the heat.
I didn't even realize.
And there's the heat in this room.
I'm so glad I have perfect vision.
I know, it's awful. I hate wearing glasses.
Well,
anyway.
Anyway, we should do the story.
I guess we should.
Last time on Higurashi,
we had grapes.
No, we didn't, sadly. We should more often, though.
Can we call this episode Grape Hour?
Yes.
Assuming it's an hour long.
If
Grape less than an hour.
If this video goes for longer than an hour, it just cuts no matter what we're saying.
I'd be pretty down for that. This is like a black screen. Like, that's the end. If it doesn't get to an hour, you just fill it up with, like, dead air. Perfect. Done.
Absolutely.
All right. I don't actually remember what was happening last time.
Well, we had the whole thing where...
I think Keiichi was talking about how much he wants to save Sadako-chan.
Yeah, Sadako went...
peacefully.
Went and did the grocery shopping.
Yeah.
I was very grateful.
She was a very good child.
Very useful.
A very useful child slave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
great.
I remember.
What was this?
I remember. Keiichi was talking about keeping Sadako like a pet in his room.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
It was a very interesting discussion, like the way that each member of the club is kind of approaching the situation.
Yeah.
Like, there is no good way out of this situation at present.
Yeah.
Which is
kind of all that shit.
We're definitely getting back to the whole hopelessness angle again that we've had several times thus far.
Woo!
And like, it had definitely hit this arc, as I think we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But this is like the first time we're really being presented with it, this arc, rather than just told about it.
Sure, yeah. Well, I think that this, like, because, I'm sure we've talked about this before, but, like, Higurashi was a social worker. He is interested in broaching these sorts of topics. And I think that the amount of time that he spent, especially in that one discussion, in the schoolroom, going around the circle, like, what if this works? What if this works? What if this works? They're throwing darts at the board trying to hit the center. And no one can do it. He's really, like, stressing how bad the system is. Like, even though everyone can plainly see that something wrong is happening, legally there is no way out of it.
Yes.
There is no easy way to, like, sort that out. And even if they did get Sadako away from her uncle, she'd get, like, shipped off to an orphanage or an institution or whatever. Like, there's just no way that they can have the life that they've been having up until now, but also, like, help her, and I think that's really something, important to kind of think about, because that's what Higurashi wants. And I wonder if he'll have a solution, or if it'll just be horrible and dark and bleak.
So, just before we begin proper, there's an ice cube in this little tray filled with grapes that I have.
Eat it?
And when I say there's an ice cube, I mean there's a sliver of ice that was a cube when we walked in here.
Right.
It is ridiculously hot.
Yeah.
Many of my classmates were playing freely in the schoolyard.
I mean, these grapes aren't even frozen anymore.
No, it's kind of ridiculous. There are cicadas going outside. It's so immersive.
A few of them had just run out of the school building after putting on their shoes and tapping their toes to the ground. It looked like they had just finished eating lunch. From a time-manipulating standpoint, I guess I succeeded.
A what standpoint?
A time manipulating. This is a novel about superheroes.
I guess so. Who's this? Is this one of the girls? Is this one of the random girls in the playground?
I don't know.
Oh my Marissa, are you okay?
Well done!
We did it! Do we get points for that?
Absolutely.
Yay, 1 point.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points.
It's just, yeah, sure, I'll take it. 6 points. I gotta get points sometimes. Are you okay, my Marissa?
A few girls noticed me and came running over. It was only natural they were worried.
Oh, he said the thing.
Oh, he said the thing! 50 points for Higurashi.
Why? I mean, I'm gonna add it, but why?
You know what? Take it back. Take it back.
We're not taking it back. We've given him the points.
Because he's a smart boy. And this is the birth of a phrase.
People accuse us of stealing points too often to bullshit. If we could give him
Are
points
we like-
at random intervals.
Are we like way behind him now?
Oh yeah, but this gives us more excuses to steal.
It's true.
And the further behind we perceive we are, the more valid our steals are.
Okay, it's 50 points. 4.
No,
The number.
just no justification.
The number of.
Think if someone wasn't there in the
vowels
morning, they'd be
plus
out of the rest of the
1.
day.
The number of vowels
I'm
plus
just late
1
for
times
school.
10. There we go. Done. keep going.
Was that accurate?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
It was actually. I thought about it.
Well, I'm just late for school. Don't worry about it. Anyway, what about Sadako? Did she come today?
Who knows?
The girls exchanged glances. I nearly said scraped.
We're in a good mood today.
I'm in a great mood. I'm dying from heat stroke.
I saw a thin shadow fall over their faces and knew the answer without needing to hear their reply.
We're getting like all delusional and shit. Is that what's happening? What's happening? Are we even recording?
We're the ones afflicted by the madness that's
Oh
on.
no! That's the twist! Ah!
Oh, God, how are we nearly out of grapes? We're 5 minutes in.
Sadako was absent today too.
We're so screwed.
This-
All right, let's do it.
this
Let's
video
bang it
is
out.
off the rails.
Here we go. 1 hour. Let's go.
When all
Great
is said and
power.
Done. After being out 3 days, she'd only come back for 1. And now she was out again.
Great
Who knew
power.
if she would come tomorrow?
Great power. Yeah, but the teacher said she got a phone call from Sadako-chan. She said she had a cold.
Chie Sensei said everyone would make sure to rinse their mouths out really well, didn't
There
they,
you
Jerry?
go. Yeah. This is Jerry's voice now.
Jerry,
All that
you're dead.
corpse.
Stop
I'm
talking.
sorry. My vocals
Wait a
have all
minute.
rotted.
Chie Sensei, that's a little too thick-headed, don't you think?
I thought he was about to ask who that was. And I was like,
Gee, Sensei, is that my teacher?
You're a little too thick-headed, don't you think? You're a teacher, aren't you? Why can't you be more sensitive and catch on to the fact your pupil is sending out an SOS?
to the earth.
I'm not joining you.
Shout out to Sting.
Shout out
But
to
even
Grace.
if she did, there was nothing we could hope for. Mm-hmm. The most she could do was a home visitation. She didn't have any right to take Sadako from her uncle into safety.
What if she
No matter the
did?
results, it would end up just being like the public agencies, with a wait-and-see attitude. It would just piss Sadako's uncle off, and her suffering would only grow deeper. And wasn't saying she had a cold the best option?
Who's speaking?
Keiichi.
She's right.
Yeah.
Be careful not to catch a cold, got it? You can go now. There's still plenty of time left in lunch break.
Yeah, because he's like, maybe I should call this bullshit out, but maybe I shouldn't.
Oh, I see.
Maybe I shouldn't. Don't catch a cold, you kids. Don't worry about your abused friend. I'm sure nothing bad's happening.
The girls excitedly scattered into the schoolyard.
There they go, scattering away. Oh, Keiichi-kun.
Rena was yelling out the classroom window, waving her hand.
Yay!
A moment later, Mia and Enrique-chan poked their heads out too.
All the cuties are here. We were very worried that even you would be absent today. Thank goodness. You don't seem sick. You look pretty okay.
I felt a little uncomfortable with her saying I didn't look sick, but I didn't care that much.
Oh. Wait, what? Why is that uncomfortable?
Well, he's got like blood pouring out from his eyes, and
Yeah, I guess
he was
so.
worried that it'd affect his public image.
I guess so. I don't know why he cares about that. He hasn't so far.
What happened? Overslept?
Well, late is late. I think if I said I was late because of a train accident, she'd let it slide.
You overslept. Oh.
Mion was being a bit. This is 1 point
I
to
thought we
Higurashi.
slipped over. Fucked up.
It's the grape spin.
It's alright.
We're gonna lose so many points.
That's
to the
right.
grapes.
Give him a point. Give him Ryukishi a
I already
point.
given him the point.
Okay, good. Just making sure. I want to make sure we're on top of things.
Was she going to put on a fuck voices?
Was she gonna put on her club president cap and scold me for being late? Well, maybe she didn't have it in
What are you laughing about now? Nothing even went wrong.
Ben,
What?
what's wrong with me?
I don't know.
Well, maybe she didn't have it in for me, so I briefly stated she was right.
Only you can tell me what's wrong with me, with you. There's still more bento. Everybody eat up. Without Keiichi-kun here, we couldn't have any fun.
Sadako is still absent, huh? And Rena, feigning chillfulness, couldn't stand to hear that. Her face darkened.
Oh, sad face. She called this morning. Apparently, she said a cold came back when she was staying home again. She said it might go on for a while too.
Well, Sadako's quite the doctor, able to predict her colds.
Just long enough to go out to the groceries and get more cigarettes for her uncle and their friends. She must be sad, so we were all talking about going to visit.
What are you saying, Rika-chan? Not pleased with Rika-chan wearing a wide smile as though it was a happy occasion. I threw cold water on it.
You're gonna wet her hair! She'll have to go and dry it outside.
First of all, what? Second of all, you distracted me from who this line is meant to be. This is Keiichi, right?
Yes, it's Keiichi.
We know best of all she doesn't have a cold, don't we? Don't ever tell a fib like that again, even as a joke. I'll get mad next time.
Oh, all that cold water's going into her pores and making her
Rika-chan
frown.
furrowed her brow, looked down, and mumbled an apology.
It's not just you, Keiichi-kun. It's hard for everyone.
I know I'm not the only one worrying, but none of us can do anything either, can we?
That's true, but...
I got the feeling I would cause another fight if this exchange went on. So I apologize first. Sorry, I'm sorry. Forget about what I just said. It's hard for everyone, right? It must be. It was at least clear, however, that I was the only one who had worried so much about rescuing her. Is it? Is that what you just got from that scene?
That's what it sounds like.
At the very least, everyone else probably got the normal amount of sleep last night. Probably had good dreams, too.
Probably.
I definitely hadn't stayed up all night thinking so desperately.
Definitely they would never do that.
I know it might not be what you wanted to hear right after you get to school. But you were late today, Kei-chan. Did it have anything to do with Sadako being absent?
Huh? Ian, what are you talking about?
Sometimes you act kind of foolhardy, Kei-chan. When both you and her were absent this morning, we seriously thought you might have kidnapped her and hidden her somewhere. Keiichi's like, damn, that's a great idea!
I wish I'd thought of that. I wish I'd thought of that.
Easy for you to say. If I could have, I'd have done that last night.
Oh, come on, dude!
None of them had really thought about how difficult that clear-as-day solution was.
Yeah, none of them had thought about how difficult it was to help her.
And that clear as day solution.
It was all
it's
you,
great,
Keiichi.
It's great, isn't it? I love the, it was difficult, but it was obvious. Obviously difficult. And that's why they don't do it.
Thinking until the night was brightening, and then I concluded that I couldn't do anything of the sort. Don't be dumb. I couldn't hide someone.
You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize if I upset you.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, let's eat some food. I'm starving.
It's also just such a, normal conversation. Normally these kids are, messing about or they're fighting. I feel like they so rarely just are don't be silly. I couldn't do that. I apologize. Right? I don't know. I feel like this sort of conversation doesn't normally happen, even in, most VNs. It's normally, very dramatized. This feels much more, grounded. I don't know. How do you feel about this sort of thing?
I don't know.
You're not having a similar reaction?
It's just a conversation.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of the weird thing, though.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I just read more boring stories than you.
I guess so. I guess you must.
I took my bento box out of my bag. Everyone moved to make a spot for me to sit.
Oh god, she's cross.
Oh no, he goes to carry.
My Barku, did you just get here?
And just as I was about to stick my chopsticks in, Chie-sensei came along. Yeah, sorry for being late. I overslept.
Uh-oh.
What the heck? Even the teacher was giving me that strange look.
When you finish eating, could you and the president come to the teacher's lounge? There's something I want to talk about.
Probably about Sadako, I thought.
Oh boy.
Since they left it at that and went back out into the hallway. Eating lunch can wait. Let's go, Mion.
You're right.
Mion and I exchanged looks, nodded to each other, and got up.
It's probably about Sadako-chan.
No, I don't think so.
I think it might be
Probably
something
about
else.
baseball.
Probably baseball.
No doubt about it. They're saying she had a cold, but everyone in class knew the truth. I didn't think that would have reached the teacher's ears by now.
I kept playing dumb, so I think she gave up asking me.
Revealing the truth to the teacher would only worsen the situation. Was that why she hadn't said anything? Or was it because she was Sadako's friend? And knew that she was trying to endure the trial of her uncle's abuse in order to get her older brother to come back?
What should we do? Maybe we should use this chance to get a collective opinion.
What do you want to do, Rika-chan?
Meep.
Sadako's closest and best friend was Rika-chan. However much I pretended to be her nini, it didn't come close to the amount of time they'd spent together. So I felt like her opinion should be held in the highest regard.
Wait. Okay.
What?
Sorry.
It's gotta be Ricky, right?
Yeah, that's not what I was wondering. Go.
What are you wondering?
Don't worry.
Okay.
It's one of those theory things. I gotta think about it and go like, so in 5 episodes' time I can say, look at this thing I figured out.
Alright, well, let's do it. I know why Sadako is enduring her uncle's torture.
Everyone looked startled and turned to me because I said that line, not Rika.
What? Get out of life. That's impossible.
Because, he's like,
Let's talk to Rika. Now I will speak.
Exactly.
Get out of life.
That's the whole thing. He's just drawing all attention to himself.
I'm done with his shenanigans.
Back then, whenever Sadako was abused, she probably cried and hid behind her brother. But Sadako thinks that in the end, that's why her brother ran away.
I'm done. Done with your shenanigans, Ryukishi. Who did you hear that from?
Me, because I'm a genius. Sorry.
I know everything.
The coach, I bet.
I nodded quietly. Sadako believes her brother will come back if she can withstand the abuse. Maybe that's why she's trying to push through. But that assumption has nothing to do with Sadashi coming back. It hurts to say that about Sadako, but it's the truth. Everyone hung their heads. Everyone was thinking the same thing. That's very presumptive of you. Sadako probably won't be happy no matter who helps her. She wants to withstand everything with her own strength. But is it really right to respect that? I don't think it is. Even if Sadako hates us for a while, I think there'll come a time when we need to save her against her will. And I think that time might be now. I told them all about what I saw and how I felt when I went to Sadako's house yesterday.
Keiichi-kun, so you think we should tell someone?
Of course, only after we're sure that reporting it to a public agency will guarantee her safety. Without being sure of that, it could just get more dangerous for her instead.
It's a difficult problem. I think we can get a definite promise out of the teacher.
I had no confidence, but we had to try. Meanwhile, Rika-chan had her hand raised for a while, as if asking for an opportunity to speak.
Quit being so cute. I will leave it to Keiichi.
What? Is that okay, Rika-chan?
Keiichi is thinking about Sadako more than anyone else here. If Keiichi thinks that we need to tell someone, then I have no complaints.
Thanks. Mion, Ren, are you okay with that? Mion seemed to hesitate, not knowing if she should agree. But when she saw Rena's firm nod, she made up her mind and did the same. Okay, let's go, Mion.
Right.
Off they go.
Off and away.
These grapes are not frozen anymore.
I know,
They're done.
they're like soft and...
Not frozen, they're just regular grapes.
They're just regular grapes.
regular grapes.
Only Chie-sensei was in the teacher's lounge. We didn't see the principal anywhere. The schedule on the blackboard under the principal's name said training, going straight home.
Oh boy.
Our principal's sense of justice was too strong. Sadako's problems wouldn't be solved with something so vague. Maybe it was a stroke of good luck that he wasn't here. When the teacher saw Mion and I come in, she closed up her curry bento, saving the rest for later.
Sit over there, please.
She told us to take a seat in the chairs directly in front of the principal's seat. I hadn't sat in this chair since doing the paperwork for transferring in.
The kid has to do the paperwork?
I guess so. They had to do everything. Everything themselves. Slave labor is actually legalized in this country. Prefecture.
Okay.
Prefecture. I'll say country.
The two of us sat there uncomfortably before the teacher walked over carrying a notebook and a ballpoint pen and sat in front of us.
My Barakut, you were absent this morning. Did something happen?
I'm sorry, I overslept.
Really?
Oh.
I have no reason to lie.
See right through him.
She narrowed her eyes at me in suspicion.
Right through him.
Now I was sure of it. She wanted to talk about Sadako.
Oh no.
In any case, I think you two already know, but your friend Hojo-san has been away frequently lately.
Neither Mion and I had anything to say in response, but the teachers proceeded, not minding.
Would you happen to know anything? There's some people in class spreading bad rumors.
Mion looked down and remained silent, as though she were being lectured. She sent me a quick glance. Everyone had made up their minds. They'd be leaving things to me.
Mion-kun? Are you my Barakun? I won't get mad or anything, okay? If you know something, I just want you to tell me.
Sensei, can we ask you a question first? She must have anticipated that response. She looked surprised. Wait, what? Must not have anticipated that response. I somehow completely missed it.
I was gonna say, hold
Right.
on. It's alright.
I don't know what rumors are going around about Sadako in class, but if those rumors happen to be true, what would you do, Sensei?
Well, what would I do? If it's true that she's being abused by her uncle, then I can't leave it alone.
Can't leave what alone exactly? What would you do? Sensei's eyebrows shot up. Maybe I said it like I was trying to pick a fight.
Maybe you were.
Why, Barakun? I'm being serious here.
So am I. I'm also being completely serious right now. Very serious. Absolutely stern, stone-faced, and no jokes.
Does this voice sound like it would be unserious to you?
Does this voice sound like a comedy show to you?
Not to me!
Please answer me. If it were true, what wouldn't you leave alone? Sensei took a few breaths and then began to speak slowly.
First, I'd have to visit Hojo-san's house to confirm the situation.
Her uncle might get mad and drive you away, though. Well, okay. Let's say you did meet with Sadako and her uncle. Then what?
Then I'd ask whether it was true. Once I got the facts, I'd go from there.
Please stop talking so vaguely. What exactly would you do? Even despite my tone being so provocative, Chie-sensei bit back her emotions and listened calmly. I thought then that she was a good teacher. Chie-sensei really did have her students' best interests at heart, but she didn't have the power or the authority to save Sadako. If she let her sense of justice run away with her, the situation could get more complex. Sensei folded her arms, and for a few moments, she closed her eyes as though mentally concentrating. And when they opened again, there was a strictness in her eye I'd never seen before.
There's a law called the Child Welfare Law. It clearly states that abuse against children will not be allowed no matter who it is.
So it would seem. Then what?
I'd contact the prefecture's Child Consultation Center. You said just now I'd be turned away, didn't you? Child welfare officers can bring the police with them if the situation demands. They will not submit to intimidation.
How many days would it take after you contact the social worker and submit the paperwork for her to be saved?
It would be the same day. Their job is to guarantee the immediate safety of children.
I know that. That's if they decide there's an urgent need. If they didn't, then they'd do the same as you. They'd go from there. They'd just wait and see, right? They'd just watch. It would make Sadako's uncle's mood sour, and Sadako would be stuck with him there.
Kei-chan, that's going a little too far.
I'm not lying, am I? Last year or the year before, whatever, that's exactly what happened when the child welfare people came, isn't it? And what happened then? You and Sensei would know about it a lot better than I would. I'd said too much. I didn't need me on to tell me that. I was talking crazy and itching for a fight. I was supposed to be telling her about the situation only after I was sure we could save Sadako, but I basically told her everything right from the start. Chie-sensei looked at the clock, stood up, and picked up the phone at the principal's seat.
Hello? Put me through to extension 3455, please. Is this okay, Kei-chan? Is this really okay?
It was too late. The dice had been cast. Now we could only pray.
Okay, thank you for answering my call. I'm Chie, licensed teacher at the Hinamizawa branch school, with Director Watanabe happened to be in the guidance office. Yes, that's right. Something urgent came up, so I'd like to contact the principal as soon as I can. Yes, thank you. Please tell him immediately. Yes, thank you.
The teacher put down the phone and tilted her head back and took a breath like I always did. Damn, she must be as cool as him.
She had a cigarette in her mouth and she blew the smoke out and it looked really cool.
I'll ask the two of you again. Are the rumors going around class really true?
Yes. Yesterday I went to Sadako's house and I saw for myself just how bad it really is.
You can leave the rest to me. I'll definitely do something for Sadako-chan.
Something? Please stop saying such ambiguous things. Not something. We have to save her. If they ended up deciding to wait again, how do you plan on taking responsibility? While I was yelling, the phone rang. Chie-sensei snatched the receiver up first.
Hello? Oh, I apologize for interrupting your training. Yes, actually it's about the issue with Sadako Hojo-san. Yes.
Sensei waved us away, telling me we could leave now. Mion went to leave, but I held my ground. I had a responsibility to make sure she stopped saying such vague, ambiguous things. If it didn't look like she was going to say anything substantial, then I'd tell him the truth even if I had to steal the phone from her.
Yes, no, I haven't contacted them yet. Yes, I haven't confirmed it, but it seems pretty bad from what the children are saying.
It's not just pretty bad. Do something about it. Right now. If you're going to report it, then I don't care who you tell. But I swear, if they end up just waiting and watching, I'll never forgive you.
He's really implicating himself for this crime when he kills Teppei.
What are you talking about? He's just going around. He's just an emotional kid, you know?
He's just a regular emotional
Anyway,
boy.
what can kids do in these stories anyway? They're harmless. A lot of them.
I yelled angrily at Sensei and the principal on the other end. I wanted to somehow, some way, convey to them just how dangerous her situation was right now.
Powerless, one might say.
I understand that. I'll tell them as much. Could you please take my Barakan back to the classroom? Yes, ma'am. Let's go, Kei-chan. We should leave this to the teachers now.
You better promise. Till the very last moment I glared at Sensei. Sensei was being pressured by the likes of me.
It's such a weird sentence. I love Geichi. His like vision of himself.
I know, it's fantastic.
It's so good.
I love playing this character.
He's ridiculous.
Idiot, this isn't the time to feel pressured.
The likes of me.
Now's the time
How
when
dare you?
give me a firm nod that'll set my mind at ease.
He's just imagining this like the setup scene for like a heist movie.
Yeah.
We're gonna steal. It's like fucking Nick Cage in National Treasure. We're gonna steal Sadako.
Nods. Yeah.
Even so, we've already left things in our hands. At this point, we really can't do anything but pray.
Oh, dude.
Bang! Mion shut the door to the teacher's lounge. That was not a
Whipped out
bang
my
sound
guns.
effect.
What? Yeah.
Long pause. Is that?
Is that the whole chapter?
Oh boy!
Oh, well, are there tips after this? There
I
must
hope
be.
so. Otherwise, it's going to be
This
a
is
very
not the
short
gra-
grape hour.
You got there just before I did, you son of a bitch. Yeah, no, there
Come on,
must be
tips.
tips.
Tips?
Come on. Yay,
Yay.
that'll bring us out to a nice length. Yay.
Is this article and statistics from the Ministry of Health and Welfare?
Or is it just one article? It's not clear. Let's find out.
Let's find out.
The mystery.
It's two.
It's two. There isn't just an article.
You need the thing?
I need the thing.
Well, you know I always have the thing at hand. Let's get the
You're
You're not wearing your glasses. No, not normally.
No.
That's my
Like
disguise.
Clark
No,
Yeah, I take the
normally.
glasses
Not
off and pretty
normally.
much go wherever I want.
thing. You can go wherever
Hold
you
on.
want.
One time
Where's
I
the
was-
line?
One time I
Try
was
and
in,
give it to us. Take
Here
I'm
it
from
is.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, there it is.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. All right, you ready? Go.
Article 2, definition of child abuse. The term child abuse means the following acts committed by a custodian, meaning a person who exercises parental authority, a guardian of minor or other person who is currently engaged in the custody of a child. Hereafter, the same shall apply against a child, meaning a person who is under 18 years of age. Hereafter, the same shall apply. Number 1. Assault the child in a manner that will cause or is likely to cause external injury on the body of a child. Number 2. Engage in indecency against the child or cause the child to engage in decency. Number 3. Substantially reduce the amount of food for the child or abandon and neglect the child for a long time period in a manner that may interfere with normal development of the child mentally or physically or otherwise materially fail to perform the duty of custodian. Or Number 4. Speak or behave in a manner that would be significantly traumatic to the child. Article 3. It's hard to see. Speak wisely, voice.
Quick, have a grape.
Yeah, Grape. Article 3. Child abuse. No person child abuse a child. Law number. That's number 82 of 2000. That's a lot of acts. Authored by the Ministry of Health
Also,
and Welfare.
a lovely, nice round number.
It is, it's good. That's how law works. You gotta have nice round numbers. Don't have them, the whole system falls apart.
I agree. All right.
Oh boy, here we go. Year 19 blank blank. Principal abusers in cases reported to the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Oh, hello. Total 5,352. Mother by blood. This is getting a little weird. 2,943, 55%. Mother not by blood. 203, 3.8%. Father by blood. 1,445, 27%.
Is this going to be one? Is it just
Father
gonna say
not by
one?
blood.
Don't do it. Okay, good.
48, 9.1%.
It's 488. Not
488.
You said 48.
Did I say 48? I thought I said 488. You know what was math? Year 19 blank blank. Instances by type of abuse and cases reported to the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Total 5,352. Physical abuse 2,780. 51.9%. Neglect, abandonment of child. This is not my hype moment. 1,728. 32.3%. Psychological abuse 458. 8.6%. These are not fun statistics.
No, they're not. I'm glad we dropped the voice.
Yeah. I slowly was like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. This is not fun.
I wonder-
this is just messed up.
I do wonder, like, I don't think it's, like, super significant as to what it means in the story, but I do wonder if Ryukishi actually, like, pulled these statistics from a proper release.
I hope he did. Honestly. Forbidden from going to school. 75, 1.4%. Sexual violence. 311, 5.8%.
Why is that where the music started? I really don't like that that's where the music
I'm
started.
sure it's not related at all.
Oh, don't play me like that, Ryukishi.
It's a very deliberately made move.
Oh.
And is that where it cuts?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Those are some non-fun statistics. Normally I'd be like, boy, Felix, how do you feel about the plot? And
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just Higurashi is going full social worker. As I've
Yeah.
said, he really goes ham in this arc about this issue. It's clearly something he's very passionate about, and that he wanted to put in his story.
I do wonder whether this was like in response to a particular incident that
Maybe.
like caught him when he was a social worker and he's
Yeah.
like, God, this is awful.
Either that, or it's just a regular thing he has to deal with, right?
Yeah,
maybe that
like,
was what he specialized in.
either
Deal with abuse.
Yeah, either
against
is
minors.
likely, but like
Yeah.
neither is fun.
Yeah, I mean, Ryukishi, a lot of his works focus on abuse against children and also on like children and what they're capable of, all sorts of stuff like that. Like his focus, you know, like he's got these fun, happy kids in his stories because that's great. High school is great. Japan loves high school, but he's also really focused on telling, especially in his later work, Higenbana, about how real life happens to kids. There is a myth in Japanese society that high school is the best time to be alive. That's why so many anime and like fiction, you know, like really popular stuff are set in high school, is because the Japanese believe that's the best time of your life when you're in high school. Ryukishi really wants to shine a spotlight through all of his works on how that is not necessarily the case. Kids get abused. Kids are capable of really bad things. Like real life does happen to people who, you know, shouldn't be affected by this stuff. And I think that him having what was that article called? Because there was an article and there was the like, you know, health and welfare statistic from the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Like he's really wanting to put that in our faces right now. We've had 2 arcs to get used to these characters and care about them, and now he wants to talk about like this is what happens to kids. This is why that ideal, picturesque Japanese high school with the romances and the funny, quirky misunderstandings about who does and doesn't get a doll, all that stuff can have painful consequences, right?
Yes.
It's something that Ryukishi loves to do. And this is maybe the most blatant example of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Like the whole idea that high school is the best time in your life is, I guess, something that a lot of people share, but also a lot of people stand.
For Japan.
Like, I guess for us more westernized, like a lot of people vehemently stand against that. Like
Yep.
the idea, like, oh, you peaked in high school is like almost like a negative trope here,
for sure.
rather than being like something that people, you know,
mean,
reminisce on fondly.
I think that in the West, certainly in the culture that I'm kind of familiar with, university is considered the best time of your life because
Yeah.
you finally get the freedom to do what you want. Whereas, you know, I definitely think that in Japanese media, it's high school that gets most looked at. I remember praising an anime by the name of Golden Time that came out like 5 years ago because it was set in a college campus. It wasn't just high school. It was still a romance story, as many of those often are, but it wasn't set in high school, and that was refreshing and different. For sure, yeah. I definitely think that's a thing, and we can talk about that in the comments a little bit more. I don't know how familiar you are with like the settings of Japanese
Absolutely
animes.
not at all.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's okay though. That's why I'm here.
The first anime I properly got into and like watched the whole way top to bottom was
Yeah.
Gundam 00.
Right.
Which does, I guess, touch on those themes because the main character is kind of like a child of war.
Yep.
But that's kind of the closest that anything I've watched has ever really come to it outside of Ryukishi stuff.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a meme, but go watch Evangelion if you haven't. Like, I don't know how you have not watched that by this point if you're a fan of, like, anime stuff.
Are you saying that to me or the audience?
Both. Go watch Evangelion.
Because I can tell you exactly how I
because-
haven't watched it.
Yeah, because that's another example of a creator. I don't remember anyone who's on the production side of things or who made it, but a beautiful genius of a man making some crazy crap. But Evangelion is also kind of a deconstruction of these sort of like, you know, high school is the best time of your life, and also like it looks at mecha shows of like what actually happens when you put a high school kid in a big like robot that, you know, holds the fate of the universe in its hands. What actually happens there? Does the kid go, oh boy, giant robots, I get to kill things? Or do they go, oh god, everything rests on my shoulders and now I'm a depressed mess?
That is never the pitch I've been given for Evangelion. That's
Why is that
very
not the
different.
pitch? What's the pitch that you get?
Most people just kind of tell me like, oh, it's a great story, the robots and fights are really cool.
Well, they're idiots.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
guess
the point of Evangelion.
most of my friends-
It's a deconstruction of the mecha genre. That's the whole point.
I guess most of my friends need to go rewatch Evangelion.
They do. If they haven't watched, I mean, The problem, and this is getting an Evangelion tangent, but part of the problem is that they didn't actually finish the story in the show. They had to like redo the last couple of episodes and then put out a movie to be like, this is what actually like the ending was supposed to be, because they had a bunch of budget cuts.
Right.
Yeah, the final episode of the show is basically a PowerPoint slideshow. With people clapping at the end and going, yeah, you did it. But it's not clear what happened or what the person
It's
did.
so sad when that happens to a show.
But yeah, they redid it with a lot more mechas and fighting and blood and explosions and eyeballs flying across the screen. Shout out to those of you that get that reference. It's a great moment in animation, little details. But yeah, anyway, my point is that like Ryukishi very much playing against normal tropes, the way he writes and trying to like deconstruct like, this is what we like about anime. All these kids having a great time. But maybe they can also murder. Maybe they are murdered. Maybe they are not always happy, you know?
Yeah, I think it's
But
also...
not just in a stupid drama way, but like in a realistic way.
The other thing that's really nicely done about this,
Yeah.
I mean, nicely,
Go
kind
for
of
it.
interesting choice
I know what
of
you
word,
mean.
but like,
Yeah.
is the way that it's just presented like, these are the facts, like, these
Yep.
are the statistics, these are the laws.
Yep.
The fact that these are here says
Grounding it.
volumes
Yep.
about its application to the story. Like,
Yep.
the fact that we are given that means we know that these things are coming up. And like, of course we've already addressed that Sadako is being abused, and like, that's bad, but whacking it in these statistics, like, oh, you know, she's just one of a number, and like, oh, here, the music's starting on this last one.
Yep.
Like, what a fantastically tasteful delivery.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
As much as I would like to drag this out to a double feature, I kind of want to bookend it with that. 'Cause
I think this is a good place to stop. I think especially after the tips that we just got.
Yes.
I think about this, think about its implications for the story, and think about how grounded this story is. And maybe we'll go from there next time.